Welcome to the Cocktail Klub podcast with Cocktail Kompany. On this episode today, I have two very dear friends of mine. One has come all the way from Singapore and one from Bangkok in Thailand. Gabriel Gliga, Chief Cocktail Officer and founder at Pickwick, and Ricky English, none other than the hat maker in the bartending industry. Welcome, Ricky. Welcome, Gabriel.
Thank you so much for having us. Hello. Hello.
So what we necessarily do as part of the Cocktail Klub podcast is we share stories to people who want to probably get into the industry, or we have young bartenders, expert bartenders, a lot of our consumers watching this podcast, and it's all about sharing stories from the beautiful, landscape of the beverage industry in India as well as outside India. Right? I think should I pick his brains first?
Yes. Oh, wow.
Ricky, I think a lot of them don't know that you were managing a bar before you got into entrepreneurship and start making hats. So how did the journey begin? Where are you from?
I'm from Czech Republic.
Okay.
And yes, I was managing cocktail bar in Singapore. That was probably 6 years ago. I left the bars.
Okay.
But yeah. It was the biggest rum bar in Asia, they said. Back in the days, the bar doesn't exist anymore, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a great fun being behind the bar. I always liked it.
Okay.
I guess I've been doing it really long time.
Okay.
And I needed change.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And how did all this happen? You were always into hats, or you were into designing, or you have a formal education in design? Or
No.
how did you think that you should start making hats?
I always worn hats since I was 6 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay.
As growing up playing ice hockey culture is everybody wearing baseball caps.
Right.
So I always loved baseball caps, and in Singapore, I've been living in Singapore, found one shop where I can buy hats.
Okay.
Which is terrible. And I would go there every 3 months to buy a new hat. But at some stage, they didn't have any new ones. I had them all.
Okay.
So, what am I going to do? I need to make my own hats.
Yeah.
And of course, it was a joke at first. Then it was a little bit more serious joke. Seriously, I need a new hat. Yeah, that's not how it started, but they run out of hats in Singapore, so I need to do something about it.
Okay.
No, but how it started was basically during the COVID. I looked for a job because I just finished my uni, and that was 2019 December.
Okay.
I gave myself a 1 month well-deserved break, and then I started looking for a job. I studied business and logistics. Couldn't find any job because nobody wants 40-year-old fresh graduates without any experience. I realized. So I was like, fuck. Then the COVID started, and I go, oh, wow. Now I won't find any job for sure. And this was why I started my business. I needed to do something. So COVID allowed me to learn a lot of new stuff. In a way, COVID for me was a very good thing.
Okay.
Of course, it didn't feel that way back at that time, but looking back, COVID for me was amazing.
So then COVID is when you started your hat business. So now let's move to Gabriel. Gabriel, tell us about yourself. When was the first time you actually got into bartending? Or
So I got into bartending at 17. I needed a summer job, so I just wanted to get a feeling. I was doing construction before, So the next summer,
Why construction?
my dad sent me to work, so I don't waste my summer and make some pocket money.
Okay.
Also, so he always knew where I was.
Okay.
So he sent me to do construction when I was very young.
So you come from a business family?
Not really, no.
Okay.
They're just a very hard-working family where everyone knew I had to work for everything since I was a kid. So that was the mentality that was bespoken on me since a very young age. So I went into bars at 17,
Okay.
while also did it during college. I hated college.
Okay.
And then I just decided to do bartending and travel the world with it and make new friends.
Nice. Nice. So how was your first experience when you started off?
I started as a dishwasher. So I was washing dishes. Then I progressively went and learned. There was this very strict bar manager that whatever you had to work very hard for everything. So like if you would grab the glass by the mouth, you had to polish all the glasses.
Okay.
And then I started falling in love with the mixology part of it, learning, talking to people, seeing how drinks are made. Then I just rolled with it. It just went.
Okay.
And it became from a summer job to a career.
Great. Great. So you started off, your first job was where? In which?
In Cluj-Napoca in Transylvania, in my own city.
Okay.
And then I stayed there for quite a while. Then I moved to Qatar, where I had a job with Trader Vic's in Doha.
Right.
From then we went to Dubai. I worked for Taj Hotels on the Treehouse
Okay.
cocktail bar. Then moved to Havana Social in Bangkok.
Okay.
And then after 6 years there, I decided to open my own bar. I was very lucky that my partners gave me the opportunity to have my own space.
So, but before we go to Pickwick's, you said you worked with the Taj Hotels.
Yes.
You have visited India.
I've been to India before, yeah.
Which are part of the...
Delhi, Mumbai, Goa. So I went to Goa a couple of times. I loved it here.
What do you love about it there?
The food and the people.
People. Nice.
Yes.
And this is your second time in India? Have you been?
Second time in Bangalore.
Okay.
Loving it here. Made really good friends here. And there's something about this place.
So, Gabriel, can you give us stories about how you were part of building this extraordinary space, the Havana? How did it all happen? Why did you come out of
So I got the opportunity. The owner of Havana saw me on the bar.
Yes.
It was like, hey, do you want to move to Bangkok? And I said, yeah, sure. Why not? I was young, so I was 24, 25 years old. And I was like, never been to Asia, never been to Thailand. So I resigned, took the job. When I took over Havana, I was half the size of what it is now.
Okay.
So it was 300 people max. And now in COVID, the owner was, the building next to us was going up for rent.
Okay.
So he asked me that, do you think you can manage the space and make a food? And I was like, let's try. So we did something called the best kept secret in Bangkok because we took over the building to the right and we were building it in shadow. So it was like a mirror replica of Havana, but we didn't take off the wall.
Okay.
So people were hearing the construction, but we never said what it is.
Okay.
A lot of people assumed it was going to be a second Havana, but we never disclosed it. And then 3 days before our 6th anniversary, I think, if I'm not wrong, we made an excuse that there was a water leak, which is very common in Bangkok. Everything collapses. And we took off the wall completely in 3 days, connected it, painted, put on another bar, and opened it.
Oh, wow. That's very interesting. But when you being from Romania, you worked in Dubai and then came to Thailand, how did you feel the culture of bartending was?
It was, but...
Who was part of your team? How did you build the whole team?
So I had my original team for 6 years. In 6 years, like I mentioned to you before, we had only 3 resignations, and one of them left for a different industry completely, and the other 2 came back. The team was actually built by itself. So slowly we integrated more people. It was Krish, my head bartender, now bar manager, who was my right hand. Then I hired Nungnu, who became assistant manager once, and we slowly became like a very close family. So we were always together, doing everything together. We had this tradition on New Year's Eve where we would spend it together, and we would give each other gifts. So, so we would put it in a big bowl with names, and you would buy random things. So you didn't buy something specific. So you would buy like a rice cooker or a iron or a perfume, and you would put in your hand and you would pull out, and you would give the gift to the person on the name.
Okay.
And we always try to shut down on the 1st of January because we would party until like 10, 11 p.m.
Okay.
So making barbecues and stuff, it was very cool. We were always a very close team.
Nice. So moving back to Ricky now. Ricky, tell us, what is the first hat you made? For who? And what is the first design you made for the hat?
My first hat was made for my hockey team.
Okay, the ice hockey team.
My ice hockey team.
Okay, you play for a team, an ice hockey team.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
In Singapore.
Okay.
On Equator, we have an ice hockey team. Unfortunately, they shut down the ice rink in Singapore, so we don't have any ice rink. But this is a very special team. It's an international team put together from Canadian guys to Finnish, Czech. Obviously. But yes, my first hat was made for the Singapore Manimals.
Okay.
My hockey team. But obviously, because I was in the bar industry, I have a lot of contacts. I know a lot of people from the industry. And once I started this company, a lot of people ask me for hats, which I feel like this trend started sometimes around when my company started. I'm not saying that I started the trend, but you know. Yes.
No, but I think you definitely started the trend of hats in India for sure. How did that happen?
You see, that's another connection from bar industry from the past. I had the formal ambassador for Bacardi and Monkey 47, Ari Bose.
Yes.
I don't know if you heard of him. So he started the hat bar trend in India. That's for sure. We were together.
I learned from him that you were in the bar industry during the podcast which I did with him. Till then I didn't know. But
I am aware. That's right. So we were together behind the bar once.
Okay.
We on a Sunday industry party.
Okay.
Which happened at the bar which I was working at. And yeah, he loved hats, obviously. I told him, we can do whatever you want. And I think he likes the way that he can be very creative. There is no limits. We can design, can put logo of whatever, wherever you want, all over the hat. And we made his first batch, second batch, third batch, and before you know, other bars in India, including yours, thank you for the support, are ordering hats. Yeah, it's amazing.
Coming back to Gabriel now. Gabriel, you were talking about Havana and you said in 6 years you had only 3 people resigning off the job. That's really incredible. And tell us, what are the fundamentals of holding the team stronger? I have read about you that you are you always focus on teamwork, learning, and all of that. Right? How do you go about it? What are the fundamentals? Someone who's listening to the podcast who is young and who has just started bartending, or probably someone who is at a team leader position or running a bar. How do you hold your team together?
You have to make them trust you. So there is this saying, you bleed together, you eat together.
Yeah.
And don't eat with people you didn't bleed. So in this is like a metaphor, because you have to show support for your team as a leader. You always have to be first in, last out. You always have to be listening to their needs and desires. Like, we work with people in a people industry. So everyone has good days, bad days. You always have to support them. It's very important for a leader, especially a young leader, to understand that everyone makes mistakes,
Right.
including yourself, which is the most important thing. Admit your mistake, and then also learn how to overcome and adapt from your mistakes. Not necessarily just scold the people or yell at the people, oh, you did this, you did this. No, you have to be a little bit more understanding, a little bit more opening. Have a heavy foot, like still demand respect and give respect. That's very, very important. If you demand respect, you have to give respect back. So it doesn't matter what position. It's from CEO to the dishwasher cleaner. You have to respect everyone the same way and treat everyone the same way. It doesn't matter.
And how do you deal with conflicts? Don't you see conflicts within your team?
I love this. So whenever someone has a conflict, I make sure that they work on the same station.
Okay.
So I put them together like kids. I was like, okay, because the environment will force you to help each other, because you can't do anything alone. So then they might bicker in the beginning and not help each other, but as the night gets heavier and heavier, they will need to rely on each other more and more, and they will calm down. Also, I never let them leave without speaking, because once it's in a confined environment as the bar, they don't need to take the frustration home. Speak it out there and there, solve it then and there, make sure everyone's calm, and then let them go home. It's the best way to actually do it, is just communicate. That communication is key. Always be transparent with your team, honest, because once your honesty is taken, it's just 1 second. Your trust can disappear in a second, in one lie. So always be like super honest.
Wow. But don't your team members or anyone say, I want to grow, I want to work in another bar, I want to learn more, I want to become a manager, I want to live.
But you have to give them the opportunity to grow. So if you see someone has this desire, and you give them, so like my assistant manager at Havana started as a waiter.
Okay.
So she went waiter, supervisor, and then I pushed really hard for her to be an assistant manager. And now they want to make her manager, but for a different venue.
Okay.
So you have to let people grow, but you can also give them the environment inside to grow. So if you can develop, okay, I'll make you assistant manager in 6 months, then I'll make you a GM, if there is a position, right? Or if they just want to leave, you cannot stop them. Then you let them go.
And how did you move on from working at Havana, and when did you decide that, okay, I want to open my own bar?
So I decided that I want to open my own bar because I saw the potential in the space.
Okay.
And my partners came to me, so I knew that I was going to open my own bar 1 year before I actually opened.
Oh, okay.
But I just kept it on the very, very DL, on the down low. So I was working on the project a bit earlier before I resigned.
Okay.
So coming up with the concept, so the concept is based on the Pickwick papers, which my partner Christian had the idea.
Okay.
I was like, let's base it on this. We wanted to make something which is not a speakeasy bar, but more of a Gatsby style bar.
Okay.
So everyone wants to like speakeasy prohibition. We wanted to develop something like Gatsby party style, like a little party, never kill nobody. So that's the vibe when you go inside. We're focusing a lot on gins and gin cocktails. Every main character in the book by Charles Dickens called the Pickwick Papers, which were based on every main character is a gin cocktail.
Okay.
Every secondary character is rum, gin, tequila, mezcal.
Okay.
So we focus a lot on developing gin cocktails.
How large is your team?
I currently have 4 members plus me 5.
That's it?
Yes, and we have a cleaner.
Okay.
Yeah, so
How big is your space?
110 square meters. So it's on 2 floors,
Okay.
and usually we 2 downstairs, 2 upstairs, and we do rotations. So we don't have a waiter position. Everyone works the floor, everyone works the bar, everyone works the kitchen. We have a small kitchen. So whoever has time goes, cooks the food, makes the food. Food is very simple, so we don't need the chef.
Okay.
It's mostly bar snacks.
That's Ricky. Now moving to you. What's up your sleeve? What are the new hats you're designing? What are you doing?
Oh, wow. That's an interesting question. Well, we do, as you know, sometimes very tricky designs. And it is quite difficult if you, for example, I made very, very funky design for your friend Kamal.
Yes.
From Nauru. And REG is also his very close friend. And he said, oh, wow, these hats from Nauru are amazing. We need to make a new batch for me, and I need even better. And wow, I spent a lot of time designing his hats, and there's lots of different factors going on. He's got the ramen print underneath here, and different print here, and glowing dark logo.
Right.
So it's pretty crazy. And what do you do? How do you beat this? Even crazier. But yeah, somehow I always collaborate with customer. The more you can tell me what's in your head, the better. But up in the sleeve, there's nothing that I can do new except for new designs.
Okay. So
We
all based on what your client or your customer want.
yeah.
And you design based on. Now, generally the perception about Ricky English hats is that they're bloody expensive, right?
Oh,
Can you tell us how do you go about making a hat? What are the things which is there on your hat which makes it so expensive?
look, when I was starting, obviously I was looking for suppliers,
Yeah.
and in my opinion, China is the best. They have the best skills. I tried Vietnam, I tried Indonesia, but in China they have the best skills. And there is many factories you can buy hats from, but a lot of really bad ones, the cheap ones. And I took time during the COVID. I had the time, and I found really good factories,
Okay.
and they are not cheap. But I prefer quality rather than low quality, cheap product.
Okay.
It works for me. Of course, a lot of people think it's expensive, but what can I do? I rather produce product that is more expensive, but everybody is happy. Yeah.
And what does one need to do to take care of their hats? I mean, you wear it almost every day. You're working behind a bar. You sweat a lot. Your hats get dirty. How one should manage their hat?
Well, obviously, never squeeze the hat.
Okay.
I would never put the hat in a suitcase when I travel. A lot of people do. I wouldn't. Yeah, the sweating part is tricky. I wouldn't ever wash the hat in a washing machine.
Okay.
Always hand wash, gentle hand wash. All you need to do is a sink, little bit of soap and hand, or brush. That's all I would say. Of course, it's not something that lasts forever. I change heads very often, but I also wash them, put them back on the hook in my museum, and I call the room museum. And yeah, in 3 months, get a new one.
It's a good business idea.
Should I said 2 months then?
Yeah. So me and Ricky had this tradition where, so it's funny because someone confused us. So that's how we became friends. Okay. Because there's a picture of me getting tattooed and I was wearing a hat. Okay. And
My hat.
Your hat, Arijit's hat, Arijit's boss hat, which he brought me from, he brought it to me from Counterpart, especially to Bangkok. So he brought it and I still remember he put it out and he was like, don't show it to anyone.
Okay.
He was like, don't show it to anyone. I got this for you. I still have it at home. I still wear it. So shout out.
That was the most popular hat.
Yeah,
I made.
shout out to Arijit for bringing. I still have it at home. So everyone thought while I was getting tattooed that it's him.
Okay.
And even me.
So even me, when I saw him, I was like, there's a glitch in the matrix. And he just has blue eyes. Beautiful blue eyes. So then we just became friends and we became closer. So the tradition was every time he would see me with something not of his, remember he would take my hat and he would give me one of his. So like he would just flip my hat every time. So I learned that every time I need to see Ricky English, I should be wearing a hat because I will get a new one. I have many of his hats at home.
Gabriel, it's been what, 6 months?
6 months, 6 blessed months.
How has the journey been from running a bar to owning your own bar?
It's been very, very interesting because when you run a bar, you think you know everything.
Yeah.
When you own a bar, you learn things like carpentry,
Yeah.
how to fix things. You suddenly become an electrical engineer because things start breaking and you call people, you're used to it, come fix this. But when it's yours, you start panicking because you want to fix it there and there.
Yeah.
But it's been very different. Like it's been a fun challenge, and some things were always good, some things were better. There was no bad things. So I always say this: how is it? It's some days are good, some days are better.
Right.
There's you have to look through life positively. It's been an amazing journey, and we were very blessed to have like friends and industry always coming to visit us. And we had a lot of guest shifts. We just had one at Soka.
Yeah, I'm coming to that next. Yeah.
So, and it's been truly like something like a blessing. Like you feel accomplished doing things like what you actually like and desire, but you have the environment to actually develop them in your own way without actually someone don't do this or don't do this.
You have the creative freedom.
You have the creative freedom and like you're your own boss, right? And sometimes I do want to fire myself, you know, for slacking, but you learn and you grow and you develop. I gave myself 2 warning letters already.
Oh, wow. I need to learn. So you have traveled in India. You've been to few cities. Right?
Yeah.
Now you just came here to do a takeover. What was your expectation of? Because you've already seen it there.
Oh, I knew it was. I knew it was going to be crazy, but I didn't expect it to be that crazy. Like the entire night was fully packed with Ricky. We were behind the bar, so KK told us there are 2 sets.
Yeah.
And we were 2 sets of bookings and we're fully booked for both of them, people standing. It was sensational. And Ricky was behind the bar helping me with the drinks. It was very, very good. We sold almost all the drinks. Good feedback. People are very friendly, very nice. Everyone's smiling. Everyone, the curiosity that's one thing about what I love about India, that people are genuinely curious. And like they want to come see, they want to come taste, they ask you questions. Like there was this lovely gentleman on the bar, and he was asking me like very detailed questions, like why did you do this? Like what made you think about this? And it opens like a very interesting conversation. And it was, you were walking out, everyone speaks with you, everyone is friendly. I knew it was going to be like crazy.
How do you approach guest chefs? Now, you said you have a small team and just 4 of them in the team.
So
I still see you doing a lot of guest chefs. And you also attend a lot of guest chefs. I think there are 2 parts to this question, right? One part is, as a bartender, what do you think a guest chef is? And the other part is, as a bar owner, now since you own your own bar and you're representing your bar in another bar, how do you approach guest chef?
So guest shifts as a bartender I suggest, and I highly suggest to everyone to send their team out. I try as much as possible to also send my team. So my other bartender, Ploy, is going to Samui to do a guest shift. Okay. She's also the Southeast Asia regional brand ambassador for Peddlers.
Oh, okay.
She also is like my second in command in the bar. And so I suggest people go do them, because once you go start traveling, even if you go for 2 days, like 2 nights, you land one night, next day guest shift, next day out, it's very important because you can learn so many new things in 48 hours. You learn about the people, the culture, the food, the taste palettes, new bar techniques, new garnishes, new glassware. So like when we were at company, at your office, like with the plateware, like the glassware, the very cool glassware and plates you had, and you would explain to me how you guys make them. And so all of this is so much information that can come in such a short time. And I take pictures of everything, and after that I go back and I show my team, and we stay and they take pictures, and then they come and we talk about it. Once my team will get a little bit bigger, then I always want to travel with one of them so they can experience. Okay. And in the future, as we're getting older, I want to just send them out for them to represent the bar, because it's very important also for them to be the face of the bar.
Oh. So then, as a bar owner, when you are taking Pickwicks to another bar, is there an approach you take saying, I'm only going to go to this kind of a bar and do a takeover which matches with the vibe of Pickwicks or the style of drinks what they make? How do you pick and choose the bar that you go?
I tend to pick bars with the same vibe, like high energy bars, because it doesn't make sense to go to like a hotel bar and be very serious, and because that's not who we are, that's not who I am. And like people expect a little bit of madness, a little bit of craziness. And I tend to like pick bars that are a little bit more fun. And also, we get called in, and I usually like to say yes to everyone and bring everyone in. And mostly I was very fortunate to have a lot of friends in the industry, like Ricky was saying, a lot of connections. So we managed to bring in a lot of bars, and we got invited to a lot of bars.
Ricky, tell us about the hat you're wearing right now. Why did you design it?
That's a hat for the guest shift we had in India, in Sukha. I wanted to create something lively, something tropical, something different, something I haven't done before yet. Actually, I haven't done any hat like this before, with print all over, basically, and including the visor on top. Usually visor I would make a different color, like you wearing now. But yeah, I added the rope. I also haven't used the rope before myself. So yeah, the longer you do things, obviously it goes with anything, the more you want to experiment, right? Probably same with cocktails. This particular hat has 3 logos here, and this is the 3 companies that were collaborating for the guest shift. I think it's not just the hat. This guest shift that we had, I wanted to make it a little bit different than guest shift, just the guest shift.
Okay.
You get a great bartenders in the bars and make drinks. I thought, let's do something a little bit more. So we did also jerseys for all these company, both of these companies, yours and yours.
Yeah.
Which we were wearing. People actually asked about it. It was fantastic.
People texting me to get them one.
That's a kind of a goal of this. People see that, make it for themselves. We do design customized jerseys as well. So yeah, I think it was success. Something different. Still a guest shift, but next level.
You'll get a lot of orders from India now. You must already be getting them, but you're doing an incredible job with the hats, and then the bartender are looking out.
Yeah, thank you.
Buy more hats and what
I hope
designs you're going to come up with.
I hope I can do a lot more for India, and I hope I get a lot more invitations for guest shifts.
Thank you both for accepting the invitation to come down, do the guest shift, and be part of this.
It was truly fun.
We enjoyed working with you. There's a lot of learning from you guys behind the bar as well for us. I think even our guests, our team, everyone enjoyed it. I think one last question I think I'll ask the both of you is, what is your one favorite drink which you both love? Don't tell me beer.
That was direct. That was direct. You want me to lie to?
What's your favorite drink?
You go first.
That's a good question. My favorite, I have actually two drinks. It's pina colada, because that was the first ever cocktail I made. I still remember, with the cocoa, the white cocoa thing. And then,
Yeah.
because you couldn't find fresh coconuts in Romania, and pineapple juice from a can, and rum and shake, and I was fascinated. And my second one is a Tommy's Margarita. Always.
Okay.
That's a good one.
What about you, Ricky?
I can't tell you I have favorite. It's really depending on the day, on the weather.
On the moon cycle.
Yeah, I love really old-fashioned.
Okay.
Very much. I like whiskey sour on different days. Tommy's Margarita, amazing. It's really hard, but beer, of course.
Yeah, that's that.
I love Ricky every time in the morning. He was like, "Let's get a beer." I was like, "Okay."
We're still recording.
Let's have coffee. No one has beer at 11 a.m. mix.
Oh,
But thank you for taking our time to be part of this. I think I enjoyed the conversation very much
Thank you for hosting us.
too, and hopefully our listeners would also enjoy this conversation. Have a good time in India for the rest
Love
of the
it.
days. Yeah, I look forward to bringing you back here again, and
It would
get
be
the opportunity
our
to host
honor.
I'm looking forward to it already.
It would be our honor.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
you. Thank you.